Welcome to Actors and Ancestors, a show for Indigenous actors and anyone else who wants to learn. I'm your host, JD Moncrin. I'm a Rocky Cree actor from Treaty 6 and 10 territories. And if you want to know more about me and my land where I'm from, then just check out episode 1, which is all about me. I am super excited today. My guest today is undoubtedly, pound for pound, the hardest hitter we will ever have on the show, I think. I've personally felt the arm cannons this person has, and let me tell you, they are locked, loaded, lethal, and it's quite possible the only thing that rivals their ability to stick and move in the boxing ring is their ability to stick and move in front of the camera from one emotional beat to the next. They're a powwow dancer, the first Indigenous woman to have the title of World Boxing Champion, an advocate for the missing and murdered Indigenous women's movement, a writer, and also an award-winning actress from their breakout role in Catch the Fair One, now a guest on my show because they're just incredibly kind, the kind warrior, and probably, by the time this airs, chief of their tribe, just because if they ever walked into the band office and said, "I'm chief now," everyone would know it's good for them and just get the F out the way. There's no stopping this person. It brings me such joy to have you here. Can I ask you to tell me your name, about your land, and where your people are from?
Absolutely. To Butney so much, JD. When he kisuk everyone and Tasawis, Mikunanog, Nutamas, Konke Wapanaak, Nutamas, Cape Verde Islands, Natai Providence, Rhode Island. Hello, greetings, everyone. My given name is Many Feathers, Many Talents, and I am from the Sikonke Wapanaak tribal nation based in Massachusetts. I currently live in Philadelphia, but I am originally from Providence, Rhode Island.
I've known you for a while now. It's been a while since we've managed to chat in person, but I got to come at you real quick with something real hard here. The real questions off the bat. You are obsessed with eating peanut butter off the spoon, as I am.
Yep.
So what's your go-to peanut butter? What do you fall into there?
Right now, what do I got in my cabinet? Right now, I got Skippy All Natural. I tend to go to the all natural kind of the stuff you got to stir up. But yeah. So I don't do chunky peanut butter all the time. It has to be like kind of once in a while. But I literally will stick a spoon. Peanut butter doesn't last at all in this house anymore because if I get some, the puppy gets one now. So I got to share.
What's your puppy's name?
Quincy Bones.
Quincy Bones.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I've
Yep.
I've got a little cat myself. I think I've showed you pictures of her. Her name's Awes. That means
Well,
go away
that was
in Cree.
I'm insane.
I know, I'm terrible like that. I mean, you and I, we've known each other for a while. We met filming True Detective, and actually one of my favorite lines in season 1 of True Detective was Matthew McConaughey's character Rusty was saying, "Life is barely long enough to get good at one thing. You got to be careful what you get good at." And I mean, you've absolutely destroyed that statement with all of your accomplishments so far. I mean, your name is Many Feathers, Many Talents, and you're still relatively new on the acting scene, but you've been so successful right out the gate. I mean, you're an incredibly accomplished boxer as well, world champ, badass. Can you tell me what got you started in your boxing career and how you made that switch into acting and what parallels you found between the two?
Yeah, absolutely. That's an awesome question. I mean, I've always been such a sporty kid and growing up the youngest of 5 with 2 older brothers, 2 older sisters, and 2 older brothers that loved sports and basketball. And a little girl that was not anything like her mother, a girly ballet. I just wanted to play with the boy. um, I just was always in the sports, always out sporty as a kid. As you mentioned, I used to dance at powwows, fancy dance. So as we know what fancy dances do, the fastest beat ever and it's full of energy. I was just one of those kids that really needs to be expressive. But nobody boxed in my family, so it was one of those things that kind of found me. I played basketball, softball, but it was just something about the solo aspect of boxing that really intrigued me, and like quite frankly, fighting. And to kind of give you a little bit more
Mhm.
history about my tribe, I'm from the Sikonke clan or the Black Goose clan of the Wampanoag Nation. There's like I gotta say 9 different bands or clans in the Wampanoag Nation. I come from Sikonke or Sekonk, and our warrior was basically a war chief to one of the baddest sachems or chiefs in Wampanoag history, Osamiqua and Yellowfeather. He had a son named King Philip, Metacomet, and they both had the same war chief named Anawan, and he served Metacomet's father, Osamiqua, and when Osamiqua passed on, he served King Philip and was a huge part of King Philip's war. You guys can look that up. It's one of the biggest and most bloodiest wars on American soil. We almost lost all of our people. And at the end of the war, Anawan was given the area of Seekonk, Massachusetts, and that's where we come from. So my fighting spirit is kind of, and that's the exact lineage that I come from. That I come from my line down right from Anawan himself. So it kind of made sense that boxing kind of found me in some kind of battle oriented activity. My first fights were like in the street. I was never a confrontational kid, but I also didn't grow up on a reservation or anywhere where it was, I was a minority. Grew up in not the best neighborhood, and I was the only native kid around. So I had to do a lot of leave me alone fights. So I found boxing around the age of 12, 13 from a friend of my mom's. He's from the Narragansett tribe. I kind of got wind of he was a fighter back in the day. So I used to bother him at powwows when he was making at his jewelry stand, his wampum jewelry stand. Like, come on, man, teach me some moves, kind of thing. And he was like, blew me off, blew me off. Finally convinced him to come to the house. He hung a bag, taught me a couple of things. And months later, my father actually came back up to Rhode Island. He moved back up to Rhode Island and he brought me to Peter Manfredo's gym. And from then on, it was quote unquote, cliche, love at first punch, I guess you could say. And my first fight, you would think, some fairy tale story, like, yeah, I did great. I knocked the girl out. No, I got my ass handed to me. And I wanted to know either do I take a hard left and go, you know what, this isn't for me, or do I take a hard right and go, you know what, how do you make that not ever happen again? My mom named me
Mhm.
right, many feathers, many talents, and I'm a OCD Virgo. Work ethic is engraved in there, and don't stop until you get it right, kind of a thing. So I took that hard right, and I just wanted to learn, and I just got better and better. And from my childhood, it wasn't that great. I had a couple of things that happened that kind of put me over the edge. My dad leaving, kind of not
Mhm.
knowing my footing as far as being mixed Cape Verdean or Black and Indigenous or Native American. So it was just something that was calling to me. And the solo aspect of boxing, basically, when you're on a team, a baseball team, basketball team, if you're having a bad day, you can have a sub, but there's no subbing anybody in boxing. It's you have to do your work. It's very self accountable. So I
Mhm.
just kind of just fell in love with it, and I didn't have these huge aspirations of being a world champion as of yet. I really didn't understand my purpose. I just knew I liked it and I was getting good at it, and I got to fight. So the rest is history, man. I Made my way through the amateur ranks. I didn't have too much amateur background due to number one, Olympics. Women weren't in the Olympics up until 2012. Number two, I didn't have the funds to travel to all these tournaments. Number three, quite frankly, I don't have an amateur style, so I went pro and kind of just scratched and clawed my way to where I am now. And as far as finding acting, again, it kind of found me. I come from a very musically inclined family. Everybody either sings, plays an instrument, or both. I play the violin since I was 9. My father was on tour with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Like, we just are very musically inclined.
That's incredible. I did not know that about you.
Yeah, man, I'm showing my age and showing you if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was just one of those things that kinda just, happened, and, I've always been interested in acting, but, I've always been part of, like, church play productions, with my mom. My grandmother was in, a bunch of theater, things too. I just didn't know where to start like anybody else, and by that time, around 2015, 2016, I really started getting the bug, but I'm like, "I don't really know how do you start this thing? Like, when do I get a cameo in, like, a Gatorade for the commercial?" I have no idea, I don't know anybody. I wasn't like out auditioning or anything. I actually got approached by the director of Catch the Fair One, Joseph Kubota Vladica, on Instagram. He slid in my DM and he basically
Oh,
said,
wow.
hey, I'm so and so. I've done X, Y, and Z. You ever think about acting? And as you can imagine, at that point in my career, I have already established myself. I was already a world champion. I started taking
Mhm.
my boxing platform and using it for a voice for the voiceless, bringing, just different awarenesses to missing murdered Indigenous women, pipelines, and any kind of Indigenous issues that I could shed some light on, which is every issue in the Indigenous community that nobody knows about. And
Right.
he had just like a lot of people just been finding out about missing and murdered Indigenous women movement in Canada and North America, and he kind of wrote a script based around that. And he just was really intrigued the fact that I was putting so much attention on it with my platform. Approached me on Instagram, got on the phone. He told me he had the script, and I read it. It was cool, and then he asked me really early on to help him write the story because one thing about Joseph, and he's a really good friend of mine now, right now. He knew it was an important story to tell, but he knew it wasn't his story to tell, which is really, really cool. And he just wanted to get
Mhm.
the perspective of the community, and I winged it. He gave me a couple pointers. We practiced. We read the script. We wrote it a ton of times, and I just took a crack at it, and that was a pretty good swing at the first time, and it
Well,
kind
I'll
of
say,
just
yeah.
it just kind of unfolded from there, honestly.
We worked together on True Detective season 4, which was out in Iceland, and I was taken away by the beauty of the land. I mean, it looks like an alien landscape. Can you tell us what was your favorite thing about being on that land and anything that you took from it that you really, really liked?
It was such a beautiful, uh, to the eye place, but the energy there, the really intensely strong energy there in connection to nature and the pride that the lovely people have of their country, from, the very difficult language that I still don't know after 7 months of being there. I mean, it's a beautiful language, but the way they speak it is just the same way they always have, and that's a beautiful thing, and I'm experiencing that part of the world that gets dark and light, and Northern Lights, probably cliche as it sounds, is probably one of my favorite parts of that. I mean, it was just, they're yelling rolling, and I'm looking at the sky, like, mesmerized. It was just so beautiful, and the people there, everything was just really,
Mhm.
really unexpectedly dope, as we were there. I mean, we were there for work, and I barely got enough time to do anything other than work, but for the times I did, I mean, the hot springs, and nature there, the calmness, it was really beautiful. I would love my husband came every time, and he was like, "Can I come back?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, he's like, "Can we go there for New Year's?" It was so amazing. It was a all around really great experience.
Mhm. Oh my god. I couldn't believe actually how much I'd fallen like, I think I had a lot of downtime myself in comparative to you because you were running a marathon.
Mhm.
Yeah, you were so incredibly busy. I ended up, just on set falling in love with this little drink. They have a collab. I can't find it anywhere in Canada.
Yes, I know, I'm missing my
Right?
collabs, man.
Oh my god, I know. It's got like that, college they're not paying you or anything, I don't know. But I actually it's funny because I brought a bunch back from Iceland because I was so addicted to it. I have one right here. Hang on, listen to this.
Oh god, I'm
There we
jealous.
go. I
So
just
I'm
popped one
hating.
over.
I'm hating, man. I miss Spenny, I miss everybody, I miss the collab, I miss everybody. It was such a dope
Oh,
place to
yeah.
be, man.
It really was. I mean, it's different when it becomes work, I'm sure, for you. I mean, having to be there day in, day out. What was it like working opposite Jodie Foster? She has a lifetime, an absolute lifetime of acting behind her. She's like the Joe Frazier of the acting world. And you and her going toe to toe. Um, there was one moment where I was on set and I had just come in for a hair test basically. And of course, set life, for those that don't know, sometimes you're there for ages. I was on set for about, I don't know, 5, 6 hours just to get a look, and
Mhm.
someone looked at my look and were like, "Okay, cool." But in that time, I got to see you and Jody doing the scene together, and spoiler free, of course, but I mean, it was the climax of the series. And I remember looking over at, Svenny, and, we were looking at a monitor and just being amazed. I can't wait for people to see this. But what's it like knowing that you're up against the heaviest of heavyweights and you are killing it?
You know what? Me and my husband were just talking about this, like, not to be cliche anymore, but I have to. Like, my back's against the rope, that's when I perform the best. I
Mm,
mean, the creator wouldn't have thrown me into this, like, torpedoed me into this head first if they knew I couldn't handle it, or they didn't know if I had the capacity to figure this out. And
mhm.
that's kind of what I've learned getting older. Like, everything's temporary. We got to figure it out. It's a quote. The only other thing I know in Icelandic is "tataratis," which means we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, you're always going to figure it out. You know what I mean? And I love that saying. That's probably the only thing I learned. It was, I'm still trying to take the time to digest everything that transpired. Because number one, like when I got the call, I was like in a daze. Like I was like, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, oh man, like what am I getting into? But it couldn't have been a better place and a better person to learn from. If I'm gonna learn this is like being interested in boxing and then getting invited to like Mike Tyson's camp in 1986 when he was 18, about to fight for the world title, and like just sitting there and absorbing all that knowledge. I mean, she's an absolute wonderful person. Besides being an actor, she's so humble. She's hilarious, and it's very humbling. And it was very awesome to see how interested she was in how I do my thing. And I'm like, I'm winging it, man. This is just me taking a crack at it. But she, was very generous with her time, her knowledge, and just to be able to watch her work in her element was such a blessing. I mean, it's like was going like going to school for this, and I didn't. So it was amazing, and the way she plays her character and my character is just was so perfect, and I can't thank her and the production enough to get the opportunity to learn from everybody, not just Jodie, but especially from her because we have quite the mission in this show. So, it was
Absolutely,
amazing.
wow. And she's so friendly, and again, I mean, so small. She's such a
I
tiny
know. I know.
I mean, I had to, work out for this role, because I was, in various states of undress, this again, spoiler free, can't talk too much about it, but, Jodie was so incredibly friendly, and I remember one of the highlights of my life, just her coming up to me outside, slapping my belly and being like, "Hey, looking great, buddy."
Yeah, that's her, man. So cool, so down to earth.
Yeah, absolutely, and not just because she is very low to the ground, but, in yeah, and speaking of, I mean, you and I, we had to do, that scene together. The scene is it's an intimate scene. How was that for you working up to that moment?
It was so nerve-wracking. It's probably I've never even been in a fight that I was so nervous about because again, I'm so new to this industry. But a lot of the parallels from boxing to acting is the repetition of it, the paying attention, the being in the moment and just having to keep repeating so you learn better. So the parallels with that, but leading up to those type of things, not knowing what to expect and then having this be such a big production. I could have puked, honestly, and I just, wanting to make sure that we're telling the story correctly, and especially me on that end, it was not even bad. And I gotta give kudos to you 'cause I probably will never have a scene partner in general like you. So I really thank you for your generosity and your patience. And it turned out to be fun, but I had no idea what to expect. So I was nervous as hell. You can ask Lee.
Yeah.
I was so nervous.
Yeah. That was our acting coach. Yeah, we were both. I mean, I was nervous as well just because, I was just so impressed with you. I was like, "Wow, you were so dedicated, committed, focused." And I just wanted to make sure that you were okay because I could see that, this was something that was nerve-wracking in this scene. And I had never been fortunate enough to work with, an intimacy coordinator as well. That was something I had never, experienced. What was that like for you working with someone like that, Lucy?
Big shout out to Lou. She's such a doll, such a kind-hearted, caring person. Another
Lucy
fellow
Fennell.
Virgo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was cool. I mean, it was, I only hear the myths of how it used to, quote unquote, used to be. So not knowing and not experience how it used to be to what we have access to now, I think it should have been something that should have been implemented in the industry a long time ago. And it's a lot of comfort. We have a job to do, we have a story to tell, but to have somebody designated for the comfortability of you and be extra hyper vigilant and extra sensitive to what kind of scene it is. I think that's the best thing for the industry and so make sure everybody's good because obviously it's such a weird thing to do. There's nothing about it that's other than whatever it is. So it was really comforting to know that she was there if we forgot or if we didn't know how to not speak up, but if there was something that wasn't really what we agreed to kind of a thing. So it's really comforting actually to have somebody like that there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's still relatively new in the industry, and, a lot of people are still learning the ropes around getting qualified to get into it, because it isn't universal at this point that I know of. There was a scene where I was just by myself, but I still had her in the room, and I appreciated that, even though
Mhm.
maybe it wasn't necessary for that because my comfort level was okay. I mean, spoiler alert, but I wasn't actually naked. Yeah,
Yep.
I had some skin color, some things on when I was by myself in this room, but, she was still there, and I just really appreciate that that's the type of caution that they're showing, all of us
Yeah.
as actors. I mean, I've only been doing this for about a decade now, but even in that time, yeah, I've seen a lot of bad actors, and, you are not one. I learned the way that you learned how to get into fighting. I just got my butt handed to me a bunch of times, and I learned not to make the same mistakes. How to
Yeah,
act.
that'll teach you.
Yeah, exactly. Um, right now it is actually it is, Indigenous Peoples Month. Great month, favorite month of the year. Part of this is getting people to understand, though, the issues surrounding things like the missing and murdered Indigenous women's movement. And you're very active on this on your social media and everything. What would you want someone who doesn't know too much about this to know? And more importantly, what would you like people to actually step up and do?
It's one of those things that and Native people, Indian country, indigenous, however you want to identify it, we know what goes on in our communities. We talk amongst ourselves, but that's the problem. And the problem comes from, we can get into jurisdiction and law enforcement and the lack of funds or lack of law enforcement on reservations, but it happens on and off reservations. And basically it's not just women, it's not just young women, it's young women, it's older women, it's boys, it's older boys, and it's something that's been happening to indigenous peoples everywhere is just being targeted. And especially when you have these different reserves or these reservations and this secluded sovereign nation area where they only have 25 cops for a reservation the size of Rhode Island, like Navajo Nation does. There's no policing, there's no backup. And then you get to the jurisdiction issue where if it's on tribal land, it's tribal police problems, and we don't get the support of local or federal police. And it's just something that does not get talked about. Like I know every indigenous person that you speak to knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that went missing. And
Yeah.
it's ridiculous how easy it is to just find all these victims. And then you get to the point where, you know, Native families don't wanna identify their loved ones as Native for fear of them not being found or looked for. A lot of these
Yeah.
times, these women and these girls and these people are reported missing, and you just get the response from law enforcement, "Oh, she probably ran away. She's probably out drunk somewhere." Yeah, that's the case, but that's where they're the most vulnerable, and then they turn up just a body. I mean, it's something that happens. It's ridiculous how much attention doesn't get put on this. And it's a movement where just have the conversations. I know awareness leads to change, change leads to even more change. The what I kind of my goal to even bring in awareness to this epidemic is the more people know, the more people are going to search, the more people are going to talk about it, the less people are going to be apt to do it if it's everywhere. It's one of those things that it just doesn't make any sense. And not to be corny and quote of a line from Catch the Fair one, but no one's looking because nobody cares. Unfortunately, that's so true for the indigenous community. I mean, indigenous women are 10 times more likely to experience violence in their life, I believe murder is the second lead cause of death in the Native and Indigenous women starting from the age of 3.
Mm.
I mean, why is that? With the leading in homelessness, drug addiction, depression, suicide, the list goes on and on. And it has a lot to do with, people talk about Native people like we're dinosaurs. Like, "Oh, wow, you're Indian? I thought you guys were extinct." Like, "Dude, no. No, no." Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy, and then you get people like, "You live in a reservation?" Like, "No, I live in a house in the South Philly. I grew up in the hood." You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that the everyday average person just has no idea, and it has to do with what they're being taught, what they're being taught in school, what they're being taught to in society. So
Yep.
I just would ask people to number one, know where you are, know the land, and know who originally occupied the land that you are on.
Mhm.
And allies, not native allies, are our biggest asset right now, especially because you'll start having the conversation. This might lead to a discussion being brought up in the house. Just like I think Washington right now, state of Washington is putting up like an actual MLIW alert. I heard of this maybe months ago.
All right. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, because I don't think that there are any of us, like you were saying. I mean, I know in my family, we've been personally affected. And at even the very furthest indigenous people that I know, they at least know of someone. So yeah, this is something that's it's not going away tragically ever since colonization. It's been here, it's
Mhm.
been happening. But on that note of indigeneity, you and I being mixed, we had a few discussions on sometimes that feeling of being less than. And you being Afro-Indigenous, what has the world looked like growing up? And now, you're going to be one of the biggest names. I'm just saying that now in the Indigenous acting world by far. What has your connection to culture been when you feel sometimes like you're under the microscope when it comes to identity?
Oh, that's a loaded question. No, no, it's a really good question. It's even like back to my childhood where I come from a family of, especially being from the Northeast woodland tribes of, still trying to reconnect, regather ourselves from centuries of, trying to take us out. We've come from first contact tribes. I mean, we held off them settlers for like 400 or 500 years before they went west. So it was a lot of work. You know what I mean? Shout out to all my ancestors who did all the work.
Yep, yep.
But I grew up in a household where I am like pretty much just the first generation woman, at least in my line in my tribe, at least with my grandmother, great grandmother, my line, that grew up as just a mixed indigenous woman. That's how I got raised. And my mother was more into culture right before I was born. And then she just brought me up into it. As she learned, I was taught. And it was just like, oh, this is what we do, this is what I am. But then it's like, you don't look native. And I'm like, I look like exactly like my cousins and all the other tribes, natives look around here. That's the one
Hmm.
thing about the
Hmm.
word indigenous that I would love to get through people's heads. Do not compare native or any kind of ethnic group to only look one certain way. That's another thing
Hmm.
that as far as identity, like my people come from the coast. We were next to salt water. Our hair is not going to be bone straight black blown in the wind. It's going to be kinky curly, number one. Secondly, every indigenous area of group or area of people, family, tribe, nation, they're indigenous to their land, their people, their families. It doesn't mean that we're all going to look alike. That's one thing that's probably one of my pet peeves. And I'm like, what does it mean to look native? Like, can you please tell me what that means? And then to top it all off, to be mixed with Cape Verdean, which is that's an argument. It's a whole nother podcast, but it's basically African and Portuguese. Anyway, people don't know what I am. So just to try to find my footing, I'm not native enough for natives because I look different because I'm mixed with black. So I got curly hair, I got freckles, my skin's a little dark, whatever it is. I'm different, which I'm very proud of.
Hmm.
And then I'm not Cape Verdean enough for the Cape Verdeans. I don't speak it. I don't cook. I didn't grow up in a Cape Verdean household like that. I know where I'm from. I know where my family's from, but that's about it. So it was one of those not enough for anybody. And I was so busy trying to fit in a box where I wasted a lot of time, but I know now that I belong in my own little star shaped box. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to fit in that stupid little circle. I want to be a
Right.
star. I want no circle. So it wasn't easy. I mean, it's between that and then coming from a household where religion played a key part in my mom's life and me being two-spirit it was all confusing. Hence the reason why I found boxing. But that outlet of really expressing myself through, my art of boxing really helped me. And now there was a point in time where I was almost ashamed of being Cape Verdean because I associated being Cape Verdean with my father and I had a real tough time with him, God rest his soul. Early in the years, teenage years, it was just, my parents got divorced when I was about 4, and it was just in and out. So I thought that was my fault. I thought I wasn't enough for the natives, the Cape Verdeans. It was just really hard to find my footing. But finding an outlet helped. And then when I really understood my purpose in that ring, besides the whole fighting part, spiritual, energetically, and doing what God given talent, the creative given talent that I have in fighting and battle, it's my time to pray in there. We can't
Hmm.
tell anybody what their medicine is. If that's my medicine, that's my medicine. The
Yeah,
energy don't lie.
eloquently put. I love that. And for people that, and if there's anyone out there listening, which I doubt wouldn't know what two spirit means, but just in case they don't, can you explain what that is?
Sure. I mean, there's if you speak to indigenous people, I don't think there's a universal meaning other than special. Is special. We hold both energies, 100%. For me, it's 100% comfortable in my masculine energy. 100% comfortable in my feminine energy. I have a ton of energy. I have a ton of female energy. I have a ton of male energy, and I just am comfortable in either or. That's what it means to me.
That's awesome. Well, whatever people may question, or when it comes to fame, because there's a lot of online issues. I know that I struggled a lot with suddenly my career taking a turn and being cast as a cartoon character and a real life version of a cartoon character who's native, and them being like, "Where? Who's this guy? Where?" Um,
Mhm.
yeah, how do you deal with online comments, hate? What is fame when people are judging you for various things, be it two spirit, be it mixed? How do you get that off your back?
It's one of those things where, especially social media, it's like a necessary evil. It has its pros and cons. I get to link up with a lot of people I wouldn't have necessarily met up with or met or had links to because of it. But just for everybody out there, social media is a fake world. It's not a real world. Oh, when you start getting emotionally involved in comments, that's when it's time to just shut it down. We all do it. But especially with getting into this new found career I have, the more success you have, the more enemies, the more hate you have to try to disrupt it. And I had recently had an issue with I had a whole Facebook page. You'll laugh at this. We can all laugh at this. Dedicated to me being a quote unquote pretendian. And this
Oh
woman,
no!
it's I will say,
Oh no!
oh yeah, man.
Oh,
So when I got cast in Wind River 2, it was me and Gail Birmingham that she was attacking, saying I was, I was playing red face, and I was taking jobs away from real natives because I'm not a real American Indian, and there's plenty of, quote, unquote, "American Indian" actors out there that need to get these she just went in. She went hard in the paint, Kobe Bryant, man. It was like I was like, "Wow." So I'm discovering, and I already knew this with especially with boxing, that the more success you have, the more people are gonna come to try to destroy it. And I'm learning, just don't engage with it.
Hey, well, that's a very good way of actually dealing with it. Because you're right, it is all fake. Instagram, all of that stuff online. I mean, but initially I let a little bit of that get to me too because I hadn't had to deal with that kind of thing now. But you've got a lifetime now of fighting, and right now you're a supernova exploding at
I
the
know.
moment. Yeah, right. So
Ugh.
on that note too of Instagram, you often send messages on there. It seems to be to your younger self. I mean, what are some of those that you would like to share with your younger self from this moment?
Going through this process of just learning so much about myself, and also playing a different person makes you see different things in characters. Now that I'm noticing that you can pull different things out of yourself to add a little sprinkle into your character to create this person to express and to work through things. It's like therapeutic as hell. And I would definitely, tell my younger self, I always have messages for her like, it's not your fault is
Mm,
exactly what I needed to hear. And you are worth so, so much. You're worthy of being loved. You're worthy to love. And you're worthy at top, like most of all, of success, which I think that's something that hits a lot of us is that we get scared of that success. Um, because you think it's not worth it or we're not worth it.
mm,
Especially being an indigenous woman, like there's just that common somber energy that you feel like as an indigenous woman that I understand much better now. That it's just because we've kind of been groomed and kind of feel like we're worthless. And then what goes back to MIW, these women, these men, these children, these boys, these girls are just walking around feeling worthless. And I'm sure that whoever's preying on these women and men can see that, sense it. You know what I mean? So just know that you're worthy of love and you're worth so much. And I hope I've heard this quote, maybe not verbatim, but I hope that things that you couldn't even imagine, that you can't dream of, that you can't see, I hope you accomplish that because I could never see where I'm at now. I had little goals, but I overshot this by miles, you know what I mean? And just always being in a mental state of learning, of wonder, of exploring. And there's don't put a ceiling on your knowledge, don't put a ceiling on what you're capable of, and welcome failure because you're gonna fall down about 19 as long as you get up on that 20 is you're good. Just keep moving. Everything's in motion. It's like water, and good
yeah.
things will happen.
Yeah, yeah. And also, I think it's important too. Just don't live your life in comparison. I mean, that's what I always struggled with when I was younger, is just looking at the success of other people. But everybody's different. Everyone's got their path, but just be tenacious.
One thing I really learned was from Jodie and just from being on there, and because I'm such a perfectionist, is don't take everything so seriously. Have fun with it. We were telling a dark story, and forget about the last take, man. Just forget about the last take and just be in
Hmm.
the moment.
Hmm.
Deal with what is right in front of you. Cause don't worry about what you did. It's over. Don't matter. Don't look at what you think's gonna happen, because it could change, and don't have expectations. Just go and work off of what's going on right in front of you.
Oh, that is, I completely agree, and it was an absolute honor to be able to be opposite you in scenes. I mean, I just was absolutely amazed with what we were accomplishing there. But I wanted to switch gears now because I want to give you a chance to give a shout out, because I'm rolling out the red carpet, and I want to know, what are you watching? What Indigenous shows are out there that you recommend to other people to go check out at this moment?
This moment, Reservation Dogs is killing them. It's
Yeah.
killing them. Rutherford's Falls is pretty cool, man. I mean,
Mhm.
we got Spirit Hunters. I haven't watched that yet, but shout out to everybody doing that. Um, you know, we have uh, we have a bunch of comedians that are hilarious right now, but those two shows for sure.
Awesome.
Um, there's just so much talent right now. But there's been talent. We're just coming out right now. You know what I mean, into the public eye. But I'm so happy to see, um, our humor. I could appreciate Reservation Dogs so much because it's not a Western with
Oh, no.
1800s, and then, the Southwest Plains natives are getting slaughtered. You know what I mean? It's not,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is us. It is us today. And
Mhm.
we're freaking hilarious. You know what I mean? And so laughter is so important. It's such good medicine. And dude, just check it out. It's hilarious, man.
Ah, that way. I wanna know, are there any allies out there? Is there an ally out there specifically you wanna point at and say, "Hey, they're a real one?"
I mean, Jody was an ally, man.
Yeah.
She's that's the homie, yo. That's the homie. And I mean, Princess Johnson, she was in Tagnak, I just forgot her last name. The two Alaskan producers that we had on True Detective. Shout out to both of them, man, for holding it down and making sure that we told that story the correct way. Because we're representing a group of people, not only indigenous but Alaskan natives. That's a whole nother layer of non-representation that's out there. So big shout out. And to Botany, thank you for every NUPI, and the entire, even our Greenlandic natives that came over, and just being able to represent them. I was an artist to be able to represent them. You don't have to be indigenous to support indigenous issues as far as getting the word out, and getting us to tell our stories. That's really important, to tell our stories from our narratives, and we're the only ones that can tell our stories correctly.
Before we, wrap this up, is there anything else that you wanted to add before we, take off from here?
No, man, I'm really humbled and honored to be getting all these opportunities to not only, be telling indigenous stories, but also to be an indigenous, mixed indigenous, Afro-Indigenous, Black Native, Black Indian, Blendian, however you want to identify it. Um, and Cape Verdean, being on the screen and having a face that looks like mine, hair that looks like mine, background that is mine, be on the big screen for our future generations. Because I didn't grow up seeing me, on the screen or in a boxing ring at all. Like, who's that? You know what I mean? So that's just something that I am. It's never me. It's always we. If I'm successful, then we're all successful.
That is good to hear. I'm so happy for your successes. I can't wait to see, more of the stuff that you're in, because I know that this is gonna be amazing when we actually get to see us on screen. Uh, and, we are native. Being native is dope. Uh, Thank you very much, Kaylee Reese. I appreciate you. Ego say thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next time. This show was created, hosted, produced by me, Joel Diamondre. Audio production was done by Daniela Barreto. And while we've got you here, why don't you check out our friends at the BIPOC Credits podcast? They have a free film industry newsletter that has resources for everyone to check out. Just look for them in our show notes.